The settled one. I need to say some things about myself. First, I am suspicious by nature. Secondly, I have been depressed before and have had trust issues. These were mostly my head problem and my insecurities. I realized that I am in my second marriage. I am my wife's third husband. We moved to another town because of her job. I am unemployed. She pays all finances and does not complain. Ever. We live comfortably, I would say. Last June something was bothering me. I could not place my finger on it. Then in September I noticed my wife had bruises on her thighs and calves. They appeared to be handprints from having rough time. They were not from me. She did not even know she had them until I pointed them out. She at once became defensive and said I should not accuse her of cheating. This was a red flag, since there has been heated arguments and emotional turmoil for us. There was a period of emotional distance also. There has been a quantity of bonding, but not quality. I have all but became unable to reach the peak with her. She also seemed to have changed. I seem not to please her as before this period of time. She insists that she has done nothing wrong. We tell each other we love one another daily, and kiss and hug as normal. Things have got somewhat better as far as the fights, but there is still harsh wording. I tried marriage counseling, but she was not interested. We have issues over our families that are not resolved. I doubt they will be. The time in question with the bruises and the emotional distance worries me that something did go on. She was away from work several days prior to the bruises, so that haunts me also. She chalks it up to my insecurities. I have a gut feeling there is more. Counseling for myself made matters seem worse, also. During this time, she changed on a physical level. Without being too graphic, I must say around this time in question she was much looser, and this is an issue. She has been in menopause for 18 months now, too. Can anyone give me insight into all this? I really love her and cherish her. However, I do not want to be with a cheater. I want to believe she loves me and is in love with me and would not do this sort of activity. I believe something did go on and she will never tell me. I overreacted, and now it will be harder to get to the truth. I am not rash in action and am trying to overcome the pain. I feel like I am going through the stages of accepting the ending and trying to gain trust again. One night stand, or maybe more. There were more bruises over a couple of months, and she claimed they were not bruising. Second, she was not at work for an hour a couple of days before the bruises showed up. She is never or was never away from work that long. The bank is 2 minutes away, and town is so small, a deposit takes 5 minutes at most. I believe she hooked up for a quickie, and I don't know before that, but started with the gut feeling bothering me. I am confused. Just do not know why she would be gone that long. I have gone before with her, and it do never take over 15 minutes to get there and back to work. This is haunting me. Some have said it does not take all day to hook up. It is a very small community. I doubt it was forced and could not happen at her job. Yes, I need employment. It also affects me and my esteem. I believe she has been having a short affair, and I sense it in some way, the gut feeling. Plus at the time I felt she was not doing this anymore. A silver truck started coming around, watching my house, and even threw something at our house, yelling an obscenity. That went on for 3 months and is stopped. I believe it was a disgruntled lover. See, it is strange, but true. Her laundry seemed not normal but was not thinking clearly. I said I overreacted and should have laid low with some investigating, and do not know if it will be harder now, because she is onto me. But she is trying to show me she is accountable. It does make me feel guilty, but she seems to want to show me her transparency. She was not that way before. No insult about the job. She is clean on emails, no computer uses or text. But she has a number under her daughter's name that is registered in our town. Her daughter lives in another city, and when I have called the number, only get a pre-recorded message. My wife says her daughter only uses the phone for texting. I am confused about this as well. Do you see why I am so concerned? But the text seems harmless, nothing ever out of context. I do not know why it is registered in our town. My wife has told me she will have her daughter use a landline henceforth, but always from strange or different numbers. I check. The one phone, a cell, was the only one really in question. Still more strange to me. I got to think her daughter is some way involved. Maybe my insecurities, but her daughter is a major intimacy breaker for my wife and me. She has caused so much strife between us. She does not like me. VAR could be the answer. She has no need for protection. She is past that. Protection lubes I can smell a mile away, and allergic to latex. If she was having the physical affair, I believed it was unprotected. If it is going on now, he must be withdrawing, and they are careful. If they are having the affair, they wouldn't care about that. I don't believe. She has been really loose at times there. I must say, why I am really suspicious. Plus, all the other things. My main concern is, could I be getting carried away with this? I feel crazy. I hear the spouses want you in that frame of mind. But I have seen everything I have talked about, and it is real to me. She uses uniforms. She got hair cut shorter and some new underwear last September. No frills, though. No long lunch breaks, and she is transparent now, meaning she accounts for her time. No time out. She usually likes it easy after work. That is why I believe it was going on when I really was not suspecting anything beforehand. I believe she wanted some fun, have her cake and eat it, too. and took the time out in the early or during those banking hours. I live 2 minutes from the work site. I keep the eye out hoping to see something. After the bruises stopped appearing, she became transparent. But I keep going back to the bruises and emotional detachment. That's what stands out, along with this mysterious vehicle hanging around my house. So strange to me. We do not even know anyone her, after almost a year. It will take time now, because she knows of my suspicions. But I am a firm believer with time, the truth comes forward. That is why I am being careful and not to do anything rash or stupid. Just want to know so I can leave with a clean conscience, albeit I love the woman. With her for 18 years, and that would be a big change, but a deal breaker is a deal breaker. If she has done it once, she will again, I believe. She said something dropped on her leg after her initial irate speech about not accusing her of cheating. I stated this to be a red flag, and she has accused me of such. I just sit her down, tell her, dear, with a nice smile and look her in the eyes, speaking softly, you are my wife. I love you with my heart. You are on my mind. There is no other I need, for I am happy with you or would not be here. And yes, her actions showed a very suspicious nature, whether I have insecurities or else. It is the primary thing I consider showing something is amok. If my spouse were insecure, I loved her, I would do all to show her tender mercy, understand, and prove without request, to show that I was there for her and only her. I did not get that. Get my meaning? Point. How can something fall on your leg and leave thumb and finger-sized bruises on your inner legs, the outer legs, and front, back of calves? No medical condition either. It is real and know that I am not in a good position. I also would like to say, I have friends from New York to California who always say, come here, get a job and be happy. And these folks do not even know of my situation. I am only locked in by my love for this woman. Yes, Shaggy, I tried to replicate the prince. She has no disorder and no bruising effect. I tried, believe me, to bruise, other than hurt her on my part. I am not that sort of man. It would seem to me that she was with someone and they caught themselves in a heated moment. And with the bruises I saw later, more and more until I told her, now I know something is not right. From then, the bruises are gone, she tries to act normal. I said she tries, but it is not right. I do believe she acted foolishly, and as far as I am concerned, once is enough to put you down. I am saying this because diseases are rampant, and so is adultery. It is probably an older man and has convinced her he was vasectomized, so no worry anyway. I think the person driving by and such was a ploy. It was probably the other man's friend, to take my eye off of the true suspect, or the other man is in some way disgruntled. I do not feel the affair is in motion presently, so when someone calls an affair off, they as well are hurt. I believe he is the one with the emotional attachment. Cut off the dog's water, he gets mad. Talk about a man who likes sloppy seconds. I prefer not to drink after another. To speak of, other than the bruising and emotional detachment, not communicating well with me, no good eye contact, giving vague answers, the truck stands out most in my mind. It was going on for about 4 months. I have not seen it lately. I did not have a chance to see the plates. Was always around after dusk or dark and always missed it. I checked at her work and never saw it there. My assumption was at first, she may have cut the contact and he became disgruntled. I do believe when affairs end, the OM can get quite angry. My understanding is the other person even feels jealous and rejected. With that said, I feel the OM was hoping my spouse would leave me for him. However, I think she was only in it for that little bit of extra fun on the side. I do not believe she thought being found out would be a problem. If there is truth to this situation, the OM was more than likely having an attachment forming more deeper than her, and thus became disgruntled. Perhaps he was hoping I would look at it as solid proof of her being involved and I would leave, thus getting what he wanted. Question: could that be a mindset of someone? The phone situation. I asked her daughter and she said it was her phone. However, no one rarely uses a phone for just texting, and it makes no sense why she, her daughter, would have the phone registered to this town when she lives about 50 miles away in a totally different location. Both of these incidents do not make any sense whatsoever, therefore they are enigmatic to my understanding. It is to my understanding that her daughter would lie for her mother, as she does not like me. She has caused quite a bit of strife and trouble in my marriage, as do many stepchildren. This has led to a lot of tampering with our intimacy, not just physically, but emotionally. These things cause a chasm of rift between a couple, as we all know well, and a relationship can take only so much before total loss of love and respect occur, and thus the marriage is pretty much non-existent. Trust also is tampered with. Sad, but very true. I love my wife and wish this did not happen. I try to think she loves me. I am trying to move on and accept this as a likely possibility, and it will not happen again, however. I seem to have to keep a vigil on this situation and protect my interest. I feel guilt that it has led me to having trust issues. Marriage is based on trust and, as all know, the basis for any healthy relationship. I am presently not in such a position. As I stated, she would not even participate in marriage counseling. The bruises could have been innocent, yes, but do your bruises mimic finger and thumb marks in the exact place where someone would be handling when sleeping together? The bruises alone would not have been enough to cause such alarm. It was the reaction she gave, and all of the other who do that came. At the time, things were getting really heated between us and I suspected it might be over the affair. She also went through what I could describe as withdrawal symptoms. I am very observant and know too, she does not use drugs. This I do know for fact. After an affair ends, there is said signs of similar symptoms to withdrawal, and I saw those. A loving spouse would react with understanding and tenderness when their spouse was showing insecurities, not react so violently as she did, and I have been accused of cheating. I simply laugh it off, told the person I love them and would do whatever to prove that love to them. If I had been cheating, I would assume my defense mechanisms would have kicked in and thus, fight or flight. It is marriage psychology 101. Call me paranoid, but everything considered, I believe at the very least, it would place suspicions in anyone's mind. I tried to find info on the phone, without results except it is registered in our town. The VAR, yes, working on it, as well as a GPS for the car. I told her we need one. It will give info where she is driving to, I understand. Is that true? Do those devices store history and allow research of where the vehicle travels? Need to research that for sure. I talked about the GPS device long before this crazy stuff was going on. I do not suspect she would be that suspicious of getting one. They are commonly in use by everyone now. But what do you suggest, then? Thanks for your input. She well knows I have great suspicions already. Maybe I am at the point of accepting something is going on and want to move forward hoping for a return of trust and emotional connections intact. But something tells me I need to keep that eye open. Perhaps I am trying to use motions in order to see if she will straighten up, and no more yay. But as I say, there are always unanswered questions, and she well knows I would leave with any further signs. I really do not believe she was doing this to end our marriage. I have been assured by her that she loves me and does not want that. Many affairs go unnoticed, spouses turn a blind eye, or don't want to admit it could be going on with them. I am in no such way to think it could not happen to me, especially with what I went through. And I do believe spouses should let their mates know they are watching. But the likelihood of being discovered is much harder. This is why I need to stay low and watch. I remain stealth in my attempt to find anything. But many here know well it is difficult to be silent. It is hard to not want to get to the truth and probably why many affairs will go undiscovered. Because the hurting one will not keep or can't keep quiet when the suspicions and gut feelings come about. I did get my wife's phone bill and could not see any numbers that she was calling on that phone. I believe she would have to have another phone, which I have never seen. I did find a phone pack in the garbage one day. The phone pack and plug were gone. The device to charge in a car was still in it. This was a red flag to me, but I never have saw another phone in her presence, and if she has another, she has done her homework and hidden it well. I have transportation at a whim. Would not use my own vehicle to spy. If I knew for sure and obtained proof, I'd ask her to see if she would come clean first. Then the surprise. It may have been short-term because I was hot and heavy about it. She did act relieved when I acted as though the truck that was driving by must be about something else. What the heck it is, I told her it was odd, so odd, and left it at that. She did seem relieved I haven't said anything about the truck in some time. I haven't seen it watching my house or driving by in some time now. I don't believe the affair is in motion at present, or she decided this guy was too risky. I know people who have been caught up in affairs and still would not grant the innocent spouse a divorce without a fight. I am possibly dealing with this type. The type who wants their cake and eat it, too. They don't commit with all of the heart, still want you and do not want anyone else to have you. So messy. But I cannot turn a blind eye to the things that have happened, or that I saw. I want to obtain proof. I can say then, when I leave, it will be with a clear conscience and did not act irrationally or make a life change that was a mistake. Does that make sense? But I have also seen spouses leave their wives and husbands for less. Believe me, it is the gut feeling that things are not right with something that gets the innocent spouse. That constant nagging feeling. I have seen a lot leave just for that reason. In the end, most were correct about their spouses being in affairs. That alone is a catch-22 for me. One would assume if there was good reason for the spouse to believe the affair was going on, the dishonest spouse would belly up and leave things alone. I believe this to be true, especially if the cheating spouse wanted to save the marriage. Am I terrible wrong about the way I am thinking? We are all different, but assuming I were the cheater and my spouse found out or was suspicious, I'd be prone to stop at once if there were hopes of staying in the marriage. Other than some heated discussions, there is not much I can do. I did describe the subtle changes I saw taking place in my relationship with her and felt something was not right. I explained these changes were red flags to me. If I am to find out the truth of an affair or not, I believe I have to appear to return to a state of normal and observe any further changes. I have to lay low and keep my mouth shut. That would seem my best bet, then go from there. I am not going to spend my life watching if this truck comes by so I can see the plates. I have better things to do. Can see the entrails of that same vehicle. Over and over again. This is another perspective. If she is looking, she'll go off and ask me, why the devices? But the mere fact that I was in my living room with the open windows, curtains, and he drove by and told me what someone said is true. He has to be watching your house for something. It started again after my so-called stepdaughter called with another number. I believe it's sorts of communicating, such as, if you signal me, I'll know when to come. If all is true, they are underground. Let it go on my part, because this is not reality to me. Reality is I never saw, never seen, and never heard anything. That is not what is true. I see these things, and will continue to see this until I do what needs to be done. Wake up and smell the stink that I live with for how many months? She just gaslit me this evening, saying this has been going on for 3 months. Hi, I knew it started when and how. It has been well over 3 months. Believe me you. Last week, I was just taking a walk. This has been said. It is a small town and all talk is rampant. Walking through the parking lot of one locale, I noticed a person I knew. He was speaking to a person with their back to me. I heard first person say, "There's her old man now." The other guy turned and looked at me, now almost walking up by them. The first guy stated that he heard she was giving it away to someone else. The guy who he was talking to said, "Yes, that's what I hear, she's giving it to someone else." By the time I was in arm's length, the first guy laughed and said, "How stupid can you be, not to know?" I walked past and went to my house. In tears I groveled with myself. The small town with big town gossip. The first person happens to be my landlord's son. When we moved here, my wife always said that he, the landlord's son, was always coming into the store and talking. I had perchance to see my wife and him together. They acted so weird. On occasions the landlord would be out of town. Guess who picked the rent up? She was talk of the town. When I heard this, the shock of hearing this dazed me. Needless to say, but that was my worst day thus far. Yes, I let her know what I heard, maybe another mistake. Her reply was, "You believe everything you hear, and that is stupid." I told her that this was a wake-up call and I can no longer be ignorant. I further told her she was playing me the fool. Her gaslighting has no effect on me. I know what I see and hear. I have to lay low and in stealth mode. I would not say she is the town tramp. However, I do believe she carried on the affair and this man is chasing after her now. Hence the silver truck. But otherwise, you seem to agree with me that there is a great likelihood from my observation and things I have heard that something is going on. At least someone in helping me. I don't feel as though I am alone in my cause to find out the truth or try to understand why I am seeing these things if nothing is going on. My counselor calls all these things substantial evidence, but that is why I am here to see what others have to say about my observances. Are all of these things noted in my blog just examples of substantial evidence or red flags? There is a possibility that the two men were playing a mind game, but I have to talk with the one. And yes, I have observed that men operate in this fashion. They let you overhear the comments so you can be alerted, but not a face-to-face conversation. Not an especially good idea, from where I stand. The question lies as to whether a friend would tell on the guilty spouse. Some do believe if they tell and bring the guilty party out, it will end with divorce. The person may feel they have caused the divorce. I would personally want to know the truth. The affair would be the reason for the divorce, not the revealing of it. From where I stand, I would be rather indecisive in telling. I don't know if I would do it openly. I would want to hurt no one per se in such a manner, but may go the route of exposing the affair in an undisclosed manner. My friend got rid of him last week. My wife seemed to be happy I dropped him. But he did agree that my wife seemed distant and acted out of touch when I wanted her at a meeting. I think he is a let's save the marriage at all cost person. I will quote what he said. "The things you are saying to me seem to point to trust issues. Who would not be wondering about things with what I have went through?" Furthermore, he stated these symptoms were only substantial evidence, and no positive proof of an affair going on. When I said this is all new to me, the things I'm seeing, he stated, "You need to focus on the positive. You need to let the negative thoughts go and think differently. She still comes home to you. It proves she still loves you." Those were his exact words. Did not sound good to me. And the things I am seeing, hearing, and feeling in my gut are real. They do not appear as substantial to me. My last words to him are, "Many have been led to the gallows on substantial evidence." Substantial evidence still plays a large part in conviction, especially in cases of divorce. I have left things lay as to return to a normal state and putting a camera in place, hidden of course, to monitor the traffic flow. I am contacting these men, or at least one. I have his phone number as of yesterday evening. Hidden GPS device coming. I have not been here that long on this site and learning. I made many mistakes before coming here and admit to my stupidity. I overreacted probably because I never thought this would happen to me. But I must say, I am not here to just complain because that would be a form of complacency, and I could have that with one-on-one from my former counselor. I have never had a relationship with someone I felt insecure about. I have been married for almost 18 years. It was more than likely going on throughout you guys and gals know. I was in a position 10 years ago and called my wife. She was huffing and puffing on the phone. I asked her what the heck was wrong and she stated, "Just throwing things in the dryer." We lived in a single-story apartment. Man, such work. I am just starting to tell the whole picture. Not a heck of a lot more. I am just like those who wish the cheating spouse would look me in the eye and tell me, "Yeah, I cheated." I am dealing with a cake eater. When I leave, I stand to be alone for the remainder of my days. I do not think it possible to trust another woman with my heart. 20 years ago, yes, I could muster the courage to say that I can love again. Now, no, I am too old for this crap. That is why this situation is so damn crazy. The D-Day was so shocking. The house camera, she won't be able to find it. At least it will help me find out who the truck belongs to. That seems to be a big step in getting down to this problem. An officer said he would help. I just need to get the plate number. I have believed it possible to be just a ploy to throw me off as far the real is. When I initially saw those bruises, especially being symmetrical in nature, that got the ball rolling in my mind. I was just stupid about it and did not do my homework before I opened my mouth. I have admitted this here several times. As the folks here say, appear to return to a normal state and lay low. There will be slip-ups I will catch now that I am on my guard. I would like proof positive so I do not look like some lunatic. I may have to play the fool's part now, but if it is going on and I obtain proof positive, no one will be able to label me in the end except. He got smarter, and for that feel I will be a better man. The idea with the camera was to be able to watch traffic flow. This silver vehicle has been spotted at times watching my house, driving by. It is the only way to find out who the owner is and why he is doing such. It is apparent the positioning of the camera will catch what I can never. The plate numbers. I explained it. I want the proof positive. And another thing, I have learned to keep my mouth shut. And if she is indeed checking my web history, it is to see if I am getting my game together. If she did read this thread on this site, then she well knows how I feel and that all of the things I have noticed lately are quite strange to me, and for whatever reason, feel taken in by it all. Just devastated to have suspicion, let alone red flags waving around me. If we could stop loving at a whim, there would be no hurt about love, would there? I only wanted to say, after looking at the things going on around me, it is apparent something is amok. But to make a rash decision, no. But I feel I am no longer in limbo but do believe a life-changing decision should be thought out carefully. I also stated I do not believe this crap is going on now. It is more than likely underground and I have to do the walk, lay low and see what turns up. I suspect something will, and when it does this time around, I will be prepared with better knowledge among other things. It seems to be calming down, but I have become a learned person. Keep the mouth shut. No different work schedule, just usual. My experience in that department seems to be returning to a normal state. Before the period when I started getting the gut feelings, way before I saw the bruises. It does seem to be a reconnection, however not reconciliation. How can it be if I have never got clear-cut explanations for all the dirty crap that has been going on? I must remain in stealth mode if I want to find out the truth. One way or another, I let her know what I thought, which is, this looks terribly strange. I do not see a reason for it. I am totally in the dark as to why it is going on. She told me that she did not know either. She seemed edged when I mentioned the events every time one came about. I quote her, how the hell do I know what's going on and who the hell it is? Ask yourself. It was the same reaction I got from her when I first told her I felt these suspicions that things were not right in some way. However, now I keep my mouth shut and lay low. Waiting, just waiting. I believed it to be the other man who is disgruntled that she won't deal with him anymore, or a ploy to take my eye off of the real OM. Update. I am being quiet, no more accusing, arguments, and am appearing to return to the state of normal behavior. I am monitoring the traffic flow. Smiles. I keep a vigil on red flags showing up again. There have been none since the last time I saw the truck. Since it is a mystery to me as to why it is happening, I see it as a red flag, with everything else that has happened thus far. My wife seems to show a willingness to transparency, even though she insists nothing ever happened. I have stated if I observe any redder flags, I will be gone. Yesterday, months later, I talked with various counselors and one stated he believed I suffered from Othello syndrome. Please read up on this if you have not already. But the syndrome describes a morbid jealousy with thoughts that the spouse is having an affair, with little or in most cases, no evidence to substantiate the affair. In other words, no solid proof. This is what I observed. 1. Emotional distance. 2. Spouse displaying feelings of guilt for no apparent reason. 3. Missing time. 4. Unusual bruises on the legs and thighs. 5. Increased drinking. 6. An intolerance for me or acting as though she did not like me, much when heavily intoxicated. 7. Strange heavy breathing on the end of the other line. 8. When at work, someone urinating on my bathroom. 9. Starting a fight and spending nights out with her brother. So, she says. 10. A strange phone number which she says is her daughter's. But I never have saw that phone, etc. I gave a list of some things I have seen and observed. What person in their right mind would not have so seemingly founded suspicions after noticing these things? The things I listed may not seem like hard proof, but when a counselor told me I was suffering from Othello syndrome, I was enraged. If something wasn't going on, why all these matters on the list? I am trying to work through this with a great counselor. My wife won't go. I have to do this alone. I love her, but just do not see why I saw these things if something was not going on. Things are better, but it is hard to fully trust. I do not think she was having the affair to exit our marriage, just wanted some fun. She will probably never tell the truth if it was going on. She knows there would be no hope of me staying on. Just wondering, do the emotional affairs go to physical affairs and back and forth? Feel from what my wife said. He was not here for so long. And other things she said, just wondering. Do they mess around after the affair and when discovered, chill, and then start it up again? She has recently said he is around and nothing is going on, and nothing ever did. Her statement, she even acted like she was in a state of transparency. Acted, right, I have a feeling this is going to start up again. I stated that I heard a guy in public speaking about my wife saying that she was giving it up, and how stupid could you be not to know? Either he was telling me something or else he was letting me know he was shagging her. Dangerous situation. He is the guy that is in contact with her around her job. When I started noticing things, one which was she was talking about him, I suspected him. I believe this is going on and he has a wife and children, but is that cake eater, too. I think he well wants me out of the picture so he can do his thing. I do not believe my wife is doing this to end our marriage. I think she thinks I am stupid. It is like this crap is right up in my face and I cannot see the forest for the trees. My comment, trust your gut. This crap is addicting and your lady might still need her fix. One more thing, this infidelity crap is like an iceberg. There is always more to it. Man, I have seen it all, and if there is one thing that sticks to mind is the fact that it starts up again and it's your job to find out cause. Again, words always make it out to be less than it really is. Stop the emotional affair as soon as possible, because that leads to the physical part.